Amen. Amen. Yo, adofunumo. Ye drew swono, ye. Emma me obekasa achire yen. Mame Dr. Patricia Pepra nini wo Michiana Asafumu ono na nwumre ame befa no so akasa akire nti adofo maye nyina ya mrebe yakomam ya dwinim ya de fo no moye na nsema ya betina nwumre no entaye mu se subra bi enweda na bibia de abobra ese agensa kira eno nti no media adwumadie no eno mame Patricia Dr. Patricia na yebetene nka nti mame eje adwumadie no ema o erade nka ho amen.
Amen. Amen. Ma'am, that's a power for the brief introduction. I think so made that. Okay, so make sure we be our platform so and you mudu do aye me dampeni fast for akonya sonkwa mo dia ma me say ne dey ye nyira ye nhwemu na ye nsia ade maybe a tremu. It was around 1910 ho baby. Ewo kro bia e fre ho Golkata ewo India. Abayo bi etna ase. Na Olivi ana ne bra or boy during the period no. Eye brebia ye betimi aka ne say Olivi a quietly bold life. Na baby ana omote no na nka ye na sumudwo no omo nheda eniska pisa ba no mo at the same time omo nheda enheda hia omo sa na eye hono ho but ntina ko ye very comfortable but maybe onya tinkan say e was a free baby owo na okọ another area e hono ehiafo no doors pa na no otimi ebua safo no that atenka no nyaye no and a conviction no nyaye no na it was so strong say enyema bebre sisiye but na wesi na dream pi say kwambia so no obe free baby owo no akobua safo no eninti ofrifie and ekotna another area esha asesa obua omo sa area hono oye nejuma kakran ejuma na oye no so na ejuma ehu hia pa ye but oni sika oni microphones oni platforms te sese ne ye nya platforms itimi promote your programs any nyema ye pese ye those days no na sanema no na onukwa no ebi ohokrampo na ono de na oni sanema ni bi eninti on a very quiet note no oye nejuma kakra day by day okwa bonten obi hia mu anu aboa no obi yare a na ninim de kakra owo no na de aboa sai nipa no enuanom the interesting thing is say mami ya meka no ho asemi na onye trained nurse no onye doctor enso fa ekwan ahoro bebre so ebua nkrofo bebre ma omunya ayaresa omo yare omo hoto omo ni ontimi ye no fa kwan ahoro bebre so epem wade masafo no na even though say na oye nejuma on a quiet note no na obi enim se obi hye no ma o di se adwuma no ye nheda nya hu dede no around 1978 1979 hodie na fede na area sempempem na ati mami nka se mami bi ehye baabi a oboa enkrofo enu nti no in 1979 ye bonabaso ye man Nobel Peace Prize na sa prize ye de man no na ehu sika na eka ho no na ye 192,000 those days. Ohwe sika ye ni ma ka se da bi monfa se sika we enkoma ehiafo no mu hia sika yi esen me. The woman was so humble despite the achievements nyina onya as a result of ejuma ketekete ana oye no. Enuanom mami ene ye can asem afa healthcare ho, ye can asem afa caregiving ho, ye can asem afa serving others one, ye de Mother Teresa eye mfato ho. Ni example a oye ye seti ye no, ye ta de ye mfato ho bebre. The life for living ye no, a very good example of what it means to be quietly bold. Quietly bold. Mesre, mama misima na memfa share mi screen. Okay. So the quiet life for living ye nyina echi no. Empempem ete nenka. Na ni ye kasa yetimi boni din e de ne ye example. Enuanom ene tete no anase culturally no. Expectation is say Emma and Kebe di. And Nancy ebe play more of a supporting role. And also say in some extreme cultures crano. See a case nipamro, uyoba no drew on my yes, uyoba, and you have to be in the background. Na emanumum endi enim, no munkwaya ni wasomwe. Ene society, anayeriasi, pushiye, pa. Say ye man, ye juma bebre, ye nima bebre, and so also bia etienka. E who sampa ye ma, ye we ye say. The society wants us to be visible, to be recognized. We are setiva, obia per se, okanwasem. Ye so loud to the extent say sometimes ye kasakra na ye say oh ye arrogant to the dog. This tension between being quiet and being loud, you know, bia haye mu bebre. Eno nti na yakoye Christopher anyame ehwe ni mu se ye did ne ho draw ne ho the love of God ebekwa wiase afa na nyina no. E was say yetimi esua kwan a ye befa so a ye be balance between this silent expectation. Any loud noise ene ewe ye wiase. Esa say ye nipa soronko. Eti yentimi nye ye ho te sese ne ebimu eye no. I was say yetimi create a kind of balance. Because we ye din yes ye we din dodo. Ni epian wa shekona baby. O kasa bebre so yes we too loud. So how do we create that balance? Enunti no ene ye this na ye quietly bold you know. Efa sa enyema mienu ya mabosu. This tension between being quiet and being loud out there, creating that balance between it. Ye key text a 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. Or say, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Key text yi mayeti asese nyame amfa ehu endua yemu. Esan say ehu ebe hold ye back. Na the fact that one fa ehu endua yemu no. The opposite will be say we are supposed to be out there and do things fearlessly. Ehu etimima sometimes emu bebre na ye di. Ehu timima sometimes ade a wo say etu ho anamokra na ye ntimi ntu sa anamono na ya ye di na ye twentwen so na say we are bit hesitant. Nyame ema ye tumi according to the key test no the power but tumi na nyame de maye no enye tumi a e wo say ma ye dede. So God has not given us fear, but rather has given us power. Na sa power no enye power e wo say ma ye dede. And I say enye power wo say timi ye di intimidate other people. But rather no wa ma ye odo a say ye dice odo ne dia. In most circumstances no ebetimi ama ye boldness no adadi ewo kwan bi so a yem ye too harsh in the eyes of other people. Wama ye a sound mind according to the key text. Ebetimi ama ye akukuduro. Esa say ye nya that conviction no say o say ye bibi. Na say ye be nya akukuduro na take that step na. Was steps na be taking na so guided, na so reckless. Say the be ya sa conviction na nya media amaye no. Ye betimi adan na edi ama aboa afoforo nso. Enuanom pampi no. This particular topic here quietly bold no. Ejina nyema mienu bi so. Eni say ejina strength and a grace. Mesre na ma church sa 2 terms mo ase kakra se ne be ye nyina ye be hu directional discussion eko empepi ne ye ka grace a eya na ye nyina ye ni grace eye unmerited favor eye free gift anyame e di amaye na sa chede no nso no hwi ni on my bet me dey replace because eye adom e na nyame e di adom ye but Bible non so emieti ase say grace eye action. Grace eye ade bia eye continuous odada sitnemu. Eno ntini yakenkan Colossians 4:6 or say let your speech always be with grace. Grace eye ade bia eye suban bia ye dan na di if you want to see grace in action. And until anybody to say kindness, anybody to say gentleness, anybody to say humility. A show the grace that we have. And until in a literal sense, Rebecca say grace a kwanya ye faso e carry ye home. A kwanya ye faso e carry ye home. In this particular presentation, no, ye share grace a kwanya ye faso e carry ye home. Not the salvation part of grace, but mo me kwanya efaso e carry ehun. Ye ka strength no etimi gina ho ma enema bebre ahoden to me ene ne keka ho. For purposes of this particular presentation, strength be picked from 1 Corinthians 16:13. Okay, kan ho na. Obehu what this particular strength means. It means to say ujina pinti Ujina family when other people waver. Enti adie bia atinka bia wenya conviction bia wenya sa adie we nokre eye ebeboa na ujina mu pentin akosi ewieye sesa wadwen and when all others are even you can say stopping na and as some drop here o dey still anu ukremu a obeye. That is the kind of strength for presentation e kan ho asem. And no say there's a tension between being quiet and being loud out there. A real challenge Emma. Titu any in the context of a jumedia nyame ede ashe yensa. And see ye ka we wasem dia na kwan ben so and ye be faswa ye betimi a creative balance ewa ya sitting. A kwan ben so and ye befa a created that balance no. Enuanom balance na ye hwehwe. Balance na ye here as women of Christ. Balance a ye here as nyame echidifo no. Matudin say the 5 pillars of a quietly bold person. The 5 pillars are we are a quietly bold person obetimi ejina so. No aka say ampa mi di juma esene fata, but I'm not being loud and I'm not being quiet. Who creative balance? Ye 5 pillars and I so numbia ye practicing every day. Ye na dada ewa ya sitile mwa ebeboa ama ye timi aye quietly bold and ye display quiet boldness in everything that we do. Ye di kaino ye behu ewo 1 Peter enyina so edi kaino ewo 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 15. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 15. Or say But in your heart, revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. This particular text, the first pillar, conviction. Atenka. I don't know if I'm translating it correctly in Chi, but atenka, conviction. Conviction, inner strength bia nyame ediedua yemu. Se bibi koso, ana se situation bi, ana se experience bi, can be anything. On ma betimi anya that conviction say bia meye ni sen a ebeboa. Ana meye we a ebeboa afoforo. Ana dwumadi a medi no meye no kwan we so a ebeboa. That conviction ana atenka na obenya wo mu. Na ubenya mujidie se eno na ye adepa, eno na ye papa, eno na beboa no. Eno na brofo mu ne ye friend conviction. Na sa conviction eye to me ana ye strength bia e woso oba bia unya ana yenya. Esa se eno eneba yetimi gina pinti what the values that we believe in. Ebia na uwo jidie ewo bibi mu. Se de nyina ye nim no ema sam ye ka Kristo mu ma ye timi Jesu a third way say we am a woman of value. Values then na we believe in. Those values no so betimi edi so those values no obetimi dis values no aye adwuma. Obetimi ama values no aboa afofra ni nyina ejina conviction eso. Atenka obenya se sa values no eye papa na eno enebeboa. Conviction enama yetimi live a life in humility. Bible say we should humble ourselves. But sa atenka na yenya wo ye musa ade a ye no eye papa no. Eno eboa ema yetimi live a lives in a humble manner. Eno boa ema yetimi respect afofro. Conviction. That is the first pillar. Atenka obenya wo mu se ade na wo ye no ana ade na wo kura mu no adepa na wo se wo to aso a eye. Conviction, that's the first pillar. Pillar etosu mienu se ye practicing every day. Ye de boy bra dane da ebeboa yen ama yetimi create a balance between being a silent woman and being loud out there no. What I call grace in action. That is compassion. Compassion. And no, enyina so a yebetimi I supported this particular pillar. Yebe hunu Colossians chapter 3 verse 12. Colossians chapter 3 verse 12. I say, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Sa pillar we. Eye pillar da edi ema afoforo hun se adom na nyame edi ache ye kwano. Sa adom no eye real. Grace in action. Uhia conviction. Uhia atenka. Se ade a wo ye no eye correct, eye true. To be able to show kindness to somebody. Uhia atenka. And now uhia that strong conviction. To say ade a mi ye. Obian praising me, obian come for me, but I will continue to do it. Uhia atenka, and grace, and that inner strength to say, even though I have been wronged, I will forgive and continue to work. Enunti pillar etosu mienu no. Eye compassion. That is grace in action. Bible text bebre wo no ma ye nyabra ye betimi akan a eboeboa yen. Okay, kan 1 Corinthians 16 verse 13, Colossians chapter 4 verse 6. Ubenya lessons bebre wo no ma ebeboa ama wate sa pillars ya make ho asemi asipaye. Pillar etoso miensa a eye courage. That is faith guided risk. Courage. Yebehu ewo Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9 say, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Courage, inner strength yenya etimuma yakukudro ema yetimitu anamo a ese nefata. Nyame afreyen efre wiase abane han mu. Ode ne trosem amaye. Wamaye hu kronkron obe guide ye every step of the way. Na wotwe bia ye hia ewo hia dan mu. Esum nyame etie ne ho asem. Na akase yebetu anamo ne ada ne donedi achira afufro. It takes courage to be able to take that bold step. It takes courage to say, even though I risk losing this, I risk losing that, I will go. It takes courage. Women ministry tem yeka, I will go reach my world. Ye wonima be prayer yeka. Edisha ye won cry. But that conviction, that strength na ebe pushi. I'm yet taking another step. It takes courage. Now, so me aye quietly bold. And now, so me aye quiet, bold person. It takes courage to say, I will go, even when all others say I won't. They won't. You will go. It takes courage to say, I risk everything. I risk losing everything, but still I will go do it. And grace no embe kanwa. Oh, na ye hu say, kwa ye kono. Enye say ye ko because ye nimde. Enye say ye ko because ye yakwanrefo. Enye say ye ko because say ye nim taxis a ye betimi afa na ye twitwaje ye hu say danger bi bampo a. Nemom ye ko because we are guided by nokre a ewo nyame time mu. It takes grace to do that. Grace ene boye ema yetimi take the next step in a humble manner, knowing very well say nyame mre na wahihya to ho no. Eno ne sabre a ewo say yetimi to anamo. And into that inner strength and grace no ekaboma utimi ye niema bebre without being loud. At the same time no unka won shake, and I say you will not shirk your responsibility or shrink just because people expect women to be quiet. U create balance and emma wakukudro no to emma utimi taking the next step. Your next pillar the fourth pillar. Ye Bible text ye digina so. Ema ye hu se sa pillar we pillar ye practicing every day ebe boa ye no. Ye be hu 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 58 or say, therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Your Bible says ahuro bebre support this particular pillar make am wase. Ebi Hebrews chapter 10 verse 23. Ebi nso Galatians chapter 6 verse 9. Anasa unya brekra na obetimi akenkan Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2. Ebeboa ama wate sa point ya me making asipa. The fourth pillar enuanum consistency. Consistency ehia say yebenya strength ebeboa yen ama dano will show up. But at the same time no yebenya grace ebema yen enya abotre even when things don't go well. That is consistency. Daily resistance. Enyema nkoyi. But when you attend kasa ade na oye no and ade na wosa okoye no adepa ebeboa. That strength no would push you to show up and do it. And at the same time no grace eye kwan anyame ehwe se yebe carry hu yebe dan ne do nedi yebe show kindness yebe show humility no that grace no eno ebeboa ama se enyema nkoye mpo a you be patient with yourself. And also say mpo omo ka wo hu also omo boa ema utimi eye ne wo se wo ye no. Even if they are slow and they are not pushing her, that consistency ebe boa grace eka ho no ebe boa ama wa ye very consistent no wa ye ne wo se oye enu nti no dani da ye ne wo se ye ne ye wo gidie wo mu se eye no kre na enu ne wo se ye no eboa ye ema yetimi ye niema bi without necessarily putting ourselves out there, without necessarily seeking for visibility. So be able to say ye. But at the same time, so no enkayen she emye di. Nebe boy ya mieti a creative balance. Niye was in a very quiet way, but taking bold steps. Ebe boy. Niye chatwo. Say the chat on me say a community na no yebenya enu every 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 11. Trust and say, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as you are doing. Danida. Ye adrin say ye be back together. Ye be create a community. Not together no ye nim dia ye wo ye ahodi a ye wo ye nyansa nyame dia maye no ye de beboa afoforo a ye betumi akoye nim ye betumi live your life on a very quiet note without necessarily seeking attention. Ye betumi aye nima bebre silencer culturally silencer ewiase fabi expect say ma ye be yedin no ye betimi aye niema on a very quiet note and be able to impact society ebeboa pa manyamesem so akọ nenim. Grace eneboa yen ema yetimi create a safe environment se ne be ya ye betimi aka nipa nyina a obetwa ye ho ahia no abom. It takes grace. It takes kindness, it takes humility, it takes respect to be able to create spaces yebetimi aka ye hu abom. And it takes conviction, that inner strength. Emma ye hu sade ye no ebeboa for us to be able to bring other people together. Intidani da se ebehwa throughout these pillars le nema mienu na mabos ma repeat strength and a grace. Kwanya ye fast to carry ye home. Strength, that conviction. Ma ye hu sade ye no kre na beboa ye. Enuanom, se da ye de sa niema enum we ebo ye bra. Dani da say ya tanyema enum we. Ye try say ye befa emu baako. Ne ya practicing every day. Ki be hu say within a period no. Ye be ye nipa sonko kra. Ye be make a huge impact. Ewo baby bia ye wo. Na afoforo nso omotwa ye ho ahia nyina nso no. Omo be hu say ye nipa sonko. Na nyame dona ode edua ye mu. O hwe enimu se ye beda na di acha afoforo no. Ye betimi edi sa adwuma no. Ahye nyame din konkon enunyam. Mede masam ebe wiye no. Me pese me hye ye nyina nkran say we need to be strong enough to stand firm and say ade a me ye eya de pa na wo se metwa so eye. We need to be gentle enough to show say to carry ourselves in a way nyame ehwehwe. To show grace. We need to be gentle enough say ade no yenim. Yenim say ye. Ye wo ho experience. Ye wo ho nimdie. Ya try ye hu na ye. Na mom no ye be bra ye ho ase. Ni aye sade no. And we need to be bold enough to say I want to make a difference. Ewo baby amewo. Difference I will make no. Any difference I will make it. Say oh yeah, I'm a fufre who say yes. You have arrived and now una experience and I want him there emphasize no there be difference I will make and say on a very quiet note as a woman of value adena nyame de dua omu a wonya mugidie say ya de pa na wo ya ebeye yi ebebo afoforo no yes ade no quietly in your own small way in your own little corner without expecting any praise from anybody, without expecting somebody to say mo why are there, without expecting somebody to say unimadiye. That is what quietly bold is all about. Be picking these two words are make a boom. And I kept asking myself, hey, how can boldness be so quiet? We are bolder, we are bold. But it is possible. You can be quietly bold. You can be a quiet, bold person. What it simply means is you have the grace of God. All dance by empire, all carry in a way that people really see say nyame honhom ewo mu, nyame di wo ye adwuma. Without seeking applause from anybody, without waiting for somebody to say yes. Una ye why are they mo? And at the same time, in sono, strength for we here to be able to push forward, to show say, adiena, adia we na ya de pano, inner conviction. I think how benya. Now be who say adia we de ya de pa. Value a mikremu, value a ya de pa. Na minje muda. It is only when we combine sanyema mienue, strength, any grace. That is the only time I yebetimi a shiny. That's the only time I yebetimi a call out there to live and to do things and yami ehwehwe efriemu. That's the only time yebetimi a making an impact in the lives of other people. Enyanom medemano ebesi ha. Meaning say matachi on a lot of things. Na meaning say bia na yemu bi yadwimu ye nya kakra yadwimu ye na kakra eno nti no ye bepese bia bebisa question ananso say bia ya nyemu nti asia ye wo comment ana contribution bia ye pese ye share na ye nyina ye famu aba ni yesia bibi free mu eno nti ye minutes kakra aka no mede manu pese ha ni nyina ya share ye comments ye questions ana contributions aye wo first our topic we mu living with strength and grace. And when this abre wo bibi kan, this is the time pacho betimi ediaba. Medamasi.
Amen. Amen. Edo nyame ase.
Amen.
And you may be sonko. Na asem sonko a. me part, dear my yen. Obi a quanatum, so be was same bisa. And now some walker, you eat him the abba. Now, bomb if you may dinner, we pay. Until any ma. Over to you. Some bisa be any. And the family of questions so all sister party we are no. Yama mean to me, Musa said. Now come Musa said, bear not me bold, once I quiet. And your cases we are known to Nama, means some Yakamanum. It's a beginning said that the Sadi Edinano, Aqua Maya, until a bread, Edina Edin. And Tino, say, I say, Miss Abby anywhere. Nay, say, Ebon Pie. Na ya chodun na fe yapon enti no sabre masof mame abonwum amayen e de atadwumadi no ansana enwum no sia na mame Helena Edu obompaye e de dwumadi ni nyina ko na wieye no de nyame ase ama mame part erade ahye ne bibia be fre no tia be keke bi so achama afemoaba ti
Child of my empire.
Amen.
Japanyame, that was a number you are ye Christo. That was a big prince, and I watch you in our share, so a boy, a home by Christo. Kristo ama na wɔtwe no akɔ asan aba bɛtu yɛ asomdwuo ama ɛnɛ wo mama yɛasan bɛhyia mu sɛ ɛba bɛtie w'asɛm. Awurade anwummerɛ yɛda wo ase sɛ wodi dɔkta bra ɛde ama yɛn sɛ ɔbɛka wo nsɛm ɛmfa nkyerɛ yɛn sɛ ɔma we are empowered to go to the world.
Yes.
Wisdom, Kristo. Na sɛ wo anka yɛn ho amma yɛ ahoɔden a yɛntumi nyɛ saa nneɛma wei nyina. Nti Awurade yɛsrɛ wo anwummere ma yɛ akokoduro na ma yɛ ahoɔden na ma yɛ nyansa na ma yɛ ɔdɔ na yɛntumi nyɛ adwuma no na yɛntumi nhyɛ wo Nyankopɔn ani animuonyam. Anwummere wa ma yɛ ho sɛ ɛmma yɛ so yɛwɔ power a yɛ so yɛbɛtumi ayɛ wɔ adwuma. Na Awurade yɛsrɛ wo ɛmma yɛhyia mu anwummere. Yɛnim sɛ yɛde yɛ power ne yɛ ahoɔden ɛne yɛ kɔm yɛ kɔ ayɛtene ɛde kɔ ewiase a yɛbɛtumi agye akra bebree ama. Ɛna akragye ɛyɛ adwuma abɔnten kɔ Awurade ma yɛnyi wo dɔ ɛnkyerɛ afoforɔ. Ma yɛnyi ɛnkyerɛ sɛ na ɔsika yɛnyɛ quiet ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛkɔ akɔhoahoa yɛn sɛ meyɛ Kristoni but yɛsuba ne yɛneyɛ no ɛna ɛbɛtumi ama obi atene ne nsa na sɛ yɛ Akristofoɔ. Anwummerɛ papa yɛserɛw ma yɛ saa kokoduro na ma yɛ saa ahoɔden no na ɔma a yɛagyina hɔ ama as a woman of Christ sɛ ɛbɛyɛ wɔ adwuma no. Awurade ma ho nkronkron mmra mbɛtena yɛ mu na ma w'adom no ndɔɔso pii ɛwɔ yɛ mu. Na saa no yɛkɔ a yɛde ahoɔden na ɛkɔ. Mesrɛ ma a yɛhyia mu yɛn dɛ nyinaa ma yɛn nyinaa ahoɔden. Yɛde Sister Patricia hyɛ wo nsɛm. Papa, obiara da wode ne yɛ adwuma. Papa, mesrɛ wakɔ a wɔnni hwee. Wɔnni ahoɔden wɔnni hwee. Nanso ɔnim sɛ wɔde wo Nyankopɔn di kan ɛwɔ n'asetena mu a deɛ ɔbɛyɛ bia na ɛbɛhyɛ wo din animuonyam. Awurade yɛn nso a yɛtena ha anwummerɛ a yɛnso yɛtie no ma yɛnso yɛnkɔ abɔnten kɔyɛ wɔ adwuma ma yɛnso yɛnkɔka wo nsɛm nkyerɛ afoforɔ. Awurade papa anwummerɛ yɛba bɛtete mu akokɔ yɛn fie. Awurade na wɔtwe foforɔ na ɛsan da yɛn nim o yɛserɛw yɛkɔ Awurade ma yɛ ahoɔden na wɔtwe foforɔ aba bɛsi mu yi ma yɛnyɛ biribi papa bi mfa hyɛ wo din animuonyam saa na wɔtwe. Nti Awurade wo ma yɛba bɛkɔ yɛn dwuma yɛde yɛn ma hyɛ wo nsa yɛn mma bɛbie school man yɛde ɔmo nyinaa hyɛ wo nsa yɛde yɛkunu nom hyɛ wo nsa yɛde yɛyere nom hyɛ wo nsa yɛde abusua no yɛde mehyia no asafo nyinaa hyɛ wo nsa Awurade na wɔtwe bɛsi mu yi ma yɛ ahoɔden na yɛntumi fa nyɛ wɔ adwuma na Nyame boa wo sɛ Nyame boa yɛn na wɔtwe sɛ ndɛ yɛsan bɛhyia mu ha asan ba bɛtie wo nsɛm. Awurade yɛda wo ase sɛ da biara da kɔsi ada bia ɔma yɛbɛtie wo nsɛm. Yɛda wo ase anwummerɛ ɛyi wayɛ yɛtiti mu yɛnim sɛ wongyaa yɛn kwa wo ne yɛ na ɛkɔ. Yɛda wo ase ɛwɔ ɔdɔba Yesu Kristo din mu nti